What's up everybody, and thank you for joining me for another video. My name is Whack4863, but you can call me Whack. In today's video, I want to show you how to get a cat mount in Soulmask. So what we have is a few traps, and then we have meat. We're going to be using those medium traps to catch a baby feline. Now I say feline because currently there are some interesting naming conventions in the game for the feline pets. So you may see it say a black panther, or you may see it say a jungle leopard. Now there are multiple locations on the map that have the ability to spawn the female panthers, and I'm going to show you the process of doing that and where those are located on the map. But first, when you get to these areas and you're going to engage in this content, I recommend killing anything that's in the area. Whether it's hostile or not, if you leave those alive and that panther that you're stalking catches wind of it or gets sight of it, it is going to elongate the process because it's going to catch aggro from anything that you left alive in the area. Now there is a prerequisite to this. You have to unlock life perception under your mask node repair screen. This will allow you to press the Q button and read the area around you and give you visual feedback. This perk is going to allow you to see the paw prints on the ground that you need to interact with in order to get the female panther or jungle leopard to spawn. And in order to make a saddle to ride your panther, you will need to reach awareness level 25 and unlock that under bronze gear, and it's crafted at your basic armor forging table. There are 3 places on the map that I've found that you can do this. One will actually mark the black panther rest spawn point when you interact with it, and that is just south of the pyramid in the rainforest. There's another one just northeast of the barbarian barracks where you find copper. And then one lower down in the map on a ridge that happens to be right behind where I built this time around. But you can see the points that I marked on this map that will help guide you to those locations. And just because I've only found 3 of them doesn't mean that you won't find others spread across the map. Anytime you see these prints on the ground, you are able to interact with this function. Once you've interacted with enough of the footprints on the ground, that will cause a female feline to spawn. It's going to go through multiple modes before it actually has a baby. You can see right now it is vigilant, but then it goes back to finding food. It has to go from finding food to returning home and then finally resting before it's actually going to give birth. Now, if the female feline attacks you at any point in time during this process prior to it giving birth, my recommendation is just to defeat it and then start this process all over again, because getting it to reset and go back through that process is very difficult. So you just want to defeat it and start all over with the paw prints. Now I am cutting out some of the downtime of just waiting for the process to move to the next level. So as you can see now, it has found food and it's returning home. You want to continue to keep your distance. Make sure you do not end up taking aggro and getting attacked, because that is going to create a lot of problems for you and you will have to start this process all over. Additionally, I recommend bringing multiple traps, but do try to keep track of where you place them so that you can pick them up later on. Now you're going to see I actually get pretty close and I'm able to place this trap pretty close to the resting point here, and that is going to allow this process to go a little bit quicker. The closer you can get it, the better, but don't risk placing it too close that the baby actually sees you, because then it becomes a mess. This is a very slow process and you want to just give it time to work itself out. You don't want to spook either one of them at this point in time. You just want to wait for that baby to stop moving. Each one of the traps that I placed has just regular flesh in it, and that is what's actually going to attract the baby to that trap. And you can see the interesting naming conventions on the screen right now that I mentioned earlier. We have a black panther female roaming around and resting, and then we have a jungle panther that is the baby that's roaming around and resting. I'm sure at some point they will fix this, however, right now that's the way it is in game. So at this point in time, your job is to just hurry up and wait. You want to wait and watch the jungle panther, the baby, to see if it's still moving and have some idea of where your trap is. When that jungle panther stops moving, give it a little bit to make sure that it's not just hanging out and that it is actually in your trap. Now, in every instance up until this one, I have had to fight the mother before retrieving the baby in the trap. However, this time around, I actually was able to just walk up, take the baby out of the trap, and walk away without having to fight the female panther. Now, you might be wondering where to go to find the best or highest level feline pet for your arsenal. And what I can tell you is it appears that the level of feline that spawns is linked to your level. Every time I've gone out to trap one of these, it has been the same level that my character was. I'm currently level 40, and that is why the jungle panther is also level 40. Now, this whole process going from it being born to being in the trap took about 5 minutes. I've cut that out so you don't have to sit through that in this video. But once it's in the trap, all you have to do is interact with it to pick it up. Now, you will see an exclamation point above its head that is going to remain there until you place it on the ground the first time. You can do this at any point in time. You can carry it all the way back to your base this way, or you can set it down right after picking it up, and once you set it down, it will be your pet. Now, if you have spikes around your base, you definitely don't want to carry it over those spikes while it has that exclamation point above its head, because those spikes will actually kill it. So I recommend placing it on the ground prior to getting back to your base. Placing it on the ground is also going to start the process of it being trained. So while you're carrying it with the exclamation point above its head, it is still in fear mode, it's worried, but once you place it down, it then becomes your pet, and it is no longer worried and can start training while you're running it back to your base. You're going to want to have a place where there's a sink and a trough at your base so that you can supply both food and water to your new pet. If you don't have this set up, you can place food in its inventory, but I find that to be far less effective than just having a trough there. At this point, you just have to wait for the development cycle to finish and for it to reach 100% development before you're going to be able to ride it. You can, however, put a saddle on it right away, and they do look rather cute being small with a teeny tiny saddle on them that grows as they get bigger. Don't forget to whack the like button on your way out and let me know in the comment section below, what do you think of the cat mounts? I'd like to thank all my YouTube members for their continued support. Y'all are absolute legends. If you're looking for a Taskmaster in Conan Exiles, the video on the screen right now will show you where they spawn guaranteed every time.